Bruce from fighterkitecentral.com, and we're going to talk today about making a buka fighter kite. Now, a buka fighter kite is a rectangular shaped kite. It's a Japanese fighting kite. It's relatively simple in its construction because it's a flat kite when you make it. There aren't any bent spars to deal with. And they can be any size, just about. This one is 15 inches wide and 10 inches tall. They could be 5 feet wide and 3 feet tall. Depends on how you're going to use it. This size, 10 by 15 inches, flies really well in winds that are about 6 to 12 miles an hour. If you want to fly a buka, make a buka to fly in lighter weight winds, or lighter winds, just make it a little bigger. You can make it about an inch or inch and a half wider and leave the 10-inch height if you like an active kite, or you can lengthen it to about 11 inches and maybe 16 and a half long, and that'll fly in very, very light winds, and it'll be a fast flying kite. Now, a buka, although it's made flat, when you fly it, you put a bow or a curve in the leading edge spar using a tension line, which is part of the kite construction. And I usually make the bows of the leading edge so that my 3 fingers can fit between the leading edge spar and the tension line. This seems to be a pretty good place, pretty good curve for the kite. You can adjust that amount as you fly it based on the wind and the way you want it to perform. But that's a really good way to get started and pretty well assure yourself of a kite that'll fly. Now, the bukas use a 3-point bridle. They use a yoke and then a lark's head knot. Normally I have a bead on this one, but a lark's head knot attached to a lower bridle, and the lower bridle is on this kite attached to the center of the kite. The kite's made really from a rectangle of material, a spine, in this case 10 inches long, and 2 diagonal cross spars, each in this case 18 inches long, and then a spar across the leading edge, which is 15 inches long. And so that's about all there is to it. You can make them out of any material. You can make them out of polyfilms, Orcon, ripstop nylon, paper, different kinds of papers. This is one that's slightly smaller for a little stronger winds. This is made by Manny Alves, and you can see here he's got a couple of slits, and these slits are covered by a netting that he bought at a fabric store. It's like wedding veil netting. And this venting, which cutting these slots is called venting, this venting allows the kite to fly in stronger winds than it would otherwise, and without as much pull or tension on the flying line when you're flying it. Now, this also has a 3-point bridle, a yoke tied at each end onto the leading edge spar, and then a lark's head knot going to the lower bridle. Now, in this kite, Manny tied the lower bridle point about a ½ inch or so below the center. Now, the lower you put that lower bridle line connection onto the spine, the kite will be a little bit less active. So if you're a person that doesn't like a really active spinning kite, then you would want that bridle location a little bit lower on the spine. To start, we're going to use a piece of polyfilm that I cut out. It's 15 inches wide. It's 10 3/8 inches in this dimension. The 3/8 is to allow for a hem to cover the leading edge spar. Now, these are the spars we're going to use. The spine, which is a 10-inch long piece of 0.06 diameter carbon fiber, and that'll go right here. We're going to use photo corners along with double-sided tape and regular tape to construct the kite. Then the cross spars are each 18 inches long. There are 2 of them, and they go basically like this. And then the leading edge spar. Now the leading edge spar, I've attached a piece of, well, this is heat shrink tubing that I got at Radio Shack. It's a little bit bigger diameter than the 0.05 diameter of the leading edge spar, but I put that in, bent this, and then forced the leading edge spar end through it. So I have a piece that looks like this, and I use this to help position the spine and keep it in position. I put the spine end into the remaining side, and then it allows me to position the spine on the kite, and it'll pretty well stay in position, and I know that it's going to be right up against the leading edge spar. There's other ways you can do that. You can simply tape it up here, but I find that taping and doing this both add to the strength of durability of the kite. So the first thing we do after cutting it out is to put on the corners. I'm using self-adhesive plastic photo corners that come on a roll. Use a toothpick to remove them. Then I'm going to place one of the corners right at the corner of the trailing edge of the kite, right here. And I'm going to do another one on the other side. I could do one in the center as well, but on the trailing edge I find that just a piece of tape does a good job of holding the spine onto the skin. And then I'm going to attach one at each of the upper corners so that these will provide a basic holding of the spars in position while we complete the kite. It makes it quite easy, and it's easy, fast to do. You can, once you make one of these, you can make one in probably an hour or less time. It's quite a simple process, really. So we'll stop right here.